People who manage to live magnanimously in dementia units, often against seemingly insurmountable odds, are incredibly courageous, and one of the big reasons as to why I do this work. There was one dementia resident who I knew well, who was a prior successful sportswoman, but socially she was very shy and withdrawn, and she used to say, "I get frightened," every time I used to talk about going out and coming into the workshop in the group. But she overcame her fear because she said it's important that the people here work on this positive attitude and building back their confidence. She knew that from sport, that you needed to be positive and you needed to be confident, and she applied that same ethos to the stamina needed to cope living in a dementia unit. So she came to the workshop, she came to the group, she contributed well, and was the first person to bring up these key topics of building back confidence and being positive as the mainstays for living successfully, or at least in a stable fashion, in a dementia unit. So she was remarkable. There was another woman as remarkable. She'd been a former accountant, university lecturer, very bright. She was quite academic in the way that she spoke, so she didn't warm well. She had friends, but not any close friends. But she was well liked by everybody in the group because she was a big contributor to the group. She'd always come to every workshop. She always had something topical to say with the topics at hand, and she was inclusive, definitely, with the other dementia residents, no matter what their ability. But she suffered particular hardship because her sister, who was power of attorney, was really terrible to her, actually, what happened this particular day. I mean, it was out in the open, the whole event. It was in the lounge of the dementia unit, so residents and staff got to hear about it. This woman, she said to her sister, "Look, I know that you've taken all my money and all my land and all my property, and I'm left with nothing, and I have no resources here at this unit, and I really need to have some resources to be able to live here and at least get the newspaper and magazines and, you know, a few things for my room." And the sister turned, left the unit, slammed the door, saying, "I never want to see you again." Oh, it was terrible. And this poor woman, "Please," she said, as the woman was going out, "please, I don't want this. Can't we still be friends?" The sister left. She banged the door, never to return. And this poor woman, she was so bereft, you know, her sister, who she had trusted as power of attorney, of course, to turn on her like that, and all her resources wiped out with nothing at all in the unit to speak of, nothing. Her room was just barren, nothing in it. And what a hard thing to face. But she was so strong. What she did was she garnered her willpower and her strength to give to the group. That's what she did. She was that self-sacrificing in the sense that she put aside her own trauma and difficulties, knew she had intelligence, knew she still had a good functioning intellect, which she did, gave that to the group, and her thoughts and her inspirations and her insights. And what she actually did was she said to the group, "Look, we need to develop a mission statement for our work here. Otherwise, if it's not written down, it will come to nothing." And this was the mission statement that she developed with the group, and it was written up on the whiteboard, and I'll read it out to you. "Everyone is becoming much more humane. There are people who are not, but they will catch up in time. Everything is getting back to reality." So this was the dementia residents' mission statement. Being humane, being kind, loving and caring was the most important thing, along with being able to keep in touch with reality and the outside world. and allowing and letting the outside in, which many programs and David Attenborough programs and The Crown and reading and writing and the newspaper and all these activities enabled these people to keep in touch with reality, which was very important to them. Now, soon after this, she actually became very unwell. She got an infection and she didn't really recover from it. And I went to see her and she still recognized me well. She was really low ebb. And I told her about the work and what we were doing. And she said, it has to be for the long term. And it has to be put in writing. An impression has to be given so that people don't have to start doing it all over again. And she was right. It was put into writing. I put it into writing in these two books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise. And she was right about the impression, because the impressions are all these videos on YouTube and TikTok. So how remarkable is that? That she had lost everything for her own personal life and self, but she had the strength and the will and the generosity to make sure that there was a mission statement, to encourage me to write it down, and also inspire me to do these videos. So these people are remarkable, and their courage and their inspiration and their self-sacrifice for the group, for others, and as they said, the group said, for others coming on, this knowledge and information needs to be known. So that's why I'm going all out, best as I can, to give this insights and knowledge from the dementia residents as to what is important for them living in dementia units, not what we think is important for people living in dementia units. Many people just thinking cares is enough, which it absolutely isn't. It's the starting point and an important one, but there's so many levels and layers on top of that, all of which is written down in these two books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both on Amazon and my website description below. Now, to let you know that I am coming to Australia soon. I haven't got the dates yet. Coming to Melbourne and hoping that you can come to Melbourne. I know there's a lot of you out there in Australia, young Australians, Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne, who are looking at these videos and taking a real interest. Comments and engagements fantastic. So I'm hoping very much that I can meet some of you when I come over, that being the purpose of it. So descriptions and details of my stay will be coming under the description soon, and I'll announce it online as well. It's a lovely venue, by the way, where the retreat is. Beautiful, very Australian, very calming, very, palatial. So I know that you'll like it. I've been there before a number of times. So thank you for your looks and your likes, and please subscribe and please pass on the links. Thank you.